Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Intelligence-Driven Threat Hunting with SOAR, hosted by Simplify and Cyberint. I'd like to thank you all for joining. My name is Nimi Reichenberg, and I am the CMO here at Simplify, and I'm very happy to welcome Adi Peretz, the Vice President of Technology at Cyberint. Adi, welcome.
Hey, hello, everybody. Thank you very much for attending. Pleasure to having you on that webinar.
Excellent. Well, while we get started, by the way, just to make sure everybody's on and the audio is working, if you can locate the Q&A button at the end of the panel, if you want to drop us just a line of who you are, where you're at right now, where you're tuning in from, we'll know that the audio is working and be able to greet some of you. So feel free to do that. And of course, during the course of this webinar, feel free to ask any questions and we'll address them at the end of this webinar. So without further ado, let's get started. If you are in security operations and you've heard about things like SOAR and things about, like threat hunting and managed threat hunting, you're probably familiar with these challenges, which I'll go over quickly. But the reason, we as Simplify exist is to solve all of these challenges. And the first one being the fact that security operations really doesn't have a central platform where everybody works, right? If you've been to Security Operations Center, the sight of somebody sitting in front of 4 monitors with 20 different tabs open on each is probably a familiar one to you. We get some of our work done maybe on the SIEM, some of it's on the EDR, we have our threat intelligence open, and all these different windows. And in this day and age of coronavirus, when everybody is remote, how does even everybody collaborate and understand what each other is doing, right? So that really is the first reason why we founded Simplify and exist. Kind of dovetailing off that, we all have more and more security tools that we use that were not designed to work together in an orchestrated fashion. That we know that the processes that we need to follow as security operations professionals when one of our detection tools, for example, generates an alert are very manual today. They're very inconsistent. They're often poorly documented or not documented at all. And what we want to do, of course, is create these consistent, repeatable processes that are automated and take a lot of the grunt work away, because another challenge that all of us are facing is the global talent shortage in cybersecurity, right? So anytime we can repurpose our team to focus on the high value work rather than the mundane, repetitive tasks that can be automated, obviously that's a big win. Alert overload is probably the first problem that everybody is familiar with. And last but not least, most security operations teams are so immersed in the daily firefighting that there's often little time and little capability to track and measure what's actually working, right? To keep score of KPIs. Are we getting better at detecting things more quickly, mitigating things more quickly? What can we do? What's not working that we can improve, right? So those are the challenges that I believe keep most of you up at night and keep us up at night, because we've developed this platform to address them, right? If you're not familiar with Simplify, we are the #1 independent security operations platform that includes orchestration and automation that often goes by SOAR, and then loads other capabilities from case management through crisis management, investigation. Many of these Adi will showcase how Cyberint are leveraging, but basically help security operation teams and SOCs work more effectively and more efficiently. Now, if we talk about managed security services, and I know that some of you on the call are probably end users, and some of you are maybe managed service providers, but for managed service providers and end users alike, our platform really enables kind of the full breadth of services, right? If maybe you have a very immature SOC, and then you can reach out to a managed service provider like Cyberint, who will actually take over the SOC and really be that outsourced security operations teams, perform all the work, and you can leverage something like Simplify to get full visibility and transparency into what your security service provider is actually doing. Maybe you're a managed service provider and you cater mostly to end users with, I would say, kind of medium maturity SOCs, and the service provider is the one that provides most of the SOC know-how, but collaborates with the end user on addressing incidents, right? Maybe doing tier 1 and tier 2, and then some of the remediation is conducted by the end user, but now there's one platform to collaborate on, right? You're not just sending emails or flipping things over the fence. And last but not least, if you are an end user and you have a very mature SOC, and maybe you want to bring the SOC know-how, you understand the processes, et cetera, and maybe the service provider works more in augmentation mode, that's also supported where, again, the end user defines the processes and the service provider implements these processes, again, on the same platform in a collaborative way with full transparency onto what's actually being done. So all of those are supported. And what I'd like to do now is flip it over to Adi, who's going to really share how one company is really leveraging Simplify and SOAR to provide these services and manage threat hunting to their customers. So Adi, without further ado.
Thanks. Thanks you very much. Thanks very much, Nimi. Hello, everybody. I'm Adi Peretz, and I'm the VP Technology for Cyberint. And my background is doing incident response, threat hunting, and threat intelligence research. And before we jump into it, just a quick a few sentences on who we are and what's our mission. So Cyberint, as a managed detection, intelligence-driven detection and response company, we provide actionable services and threat intelligence to our customers to defend their business against the cyber threats that they're facing. It's a unique combination of technology and our analysts and expertise. We provide a multi-tenant platform based on our cloud, our SaaS driven, and we primarily focus on B2C enterprises or businesses. And we have over 100 customers all over the world. So just a quick overview on our mission and what we do.
Sure, and Adi, I think I saw on your website that one of your customers is Tinder. So who we swipe left and swipe right is probably amongst the most sensitive information we keep these days. So I'm looking forward to hearing how you protect businesses such as Tinder.
Sure. With today's coronavirus running wild, if you guys want to get the latest information about what's going on and what we see in the wild, please visit our website. On our research hub, you'll see everything, all of our research and insights around the threats leveraging coronavirus are there. So please, I encourage you to find very interesting stuff over there. Okay, let's move on. All right, so what's our approach to threat hunting? So first and foremost, it's a proactive approach, right? So how do we hunt for threats and uncover compromises, right? And have visibility, right, to our attack surface and actually kind of reduce that attack surface, right? It's an intelligence-driven approach. We as an intelligence-driven company, okay, we'll leverage our threat intelligence and visibility into the TTPs that are being leveraged in the wild to kind of come up with those hunting hypotheses or kind of like understand what are the TTPs that are actually relevant when we do a threat hunt for our customers. We do that continuously, okay? So we do that threat hunting like throughout the year. When every time something new comes up and we discover a new threat, right, we'll kick off a hunt across our customers. We have to try to kind of actually detect that type of behavior. We provide it as a managed approach, provided as a service, right, leveraging our domain expertise and threat intelligence. And of course, transparency, very important to us, right? So everything that we do, when we do a threat hunt, when we discover a threat, when we analyze a threat and remediate that threat, we want our customers to be right in there with us. So everything that we do, whether it's automated or manual, is transparent to our customers. So you're not just ending up, with a typical email alert of, hey, here's something that, that we discovered on your network. Here are some of the recommendations. Now you go ahead and actually take care of that. No, we don't do that. We want our customers to have full visibility into what we do. We want to be there end to end from the detection, remediation, and response to actually, protect their business. In order to do that, we leverage the MITRE attack framework. It's at our core, right? So everything that we do, we try to map as fully to the MITRE attack framework. Now, just yesterday, MITRE released their SAT techniques beta feature. This is something that we kind of kept an eye very closely at, and I'm happy to say that we already kind of like comply to that, because a lot of the techniques that we map, we use different variations and different implementations of various techniques. So this is typically kind of what MITRE tries to kind of achieve when they're launching their SOAR techniques. So for those of you who follow attack, we leverage that heavily across our detections, custom detections, across our playbooks, across our hunting. This is something that we leverage very heavily when we pull in data using EDRs to try to kind of have that visibility. So that's kind of what we use to kind of drive that hunt on top of our threat intelligence to actually launch that service. And again, like anything else, right? So it's not just a problem of technology or people, it's a combination, right? So we leverage our technology, our threat intelligence platform to actually gain visibility into what's going on in the wild. We map that out against, we track different threat actors, their tools, their infrastructure, their TTPs, and then we map that out under the MITRE attack framework to generate custom detections, to generate those hunts, and we leverage visibility coming up from leading EDR solutions. So at the moment, we are able to support Carbon Black, CrowdStrike, or Endgame to pull in that telemetry and generate those hunts and detections. And we use Simplify, right, to automate all of that in a single platform and actually provide that value using Simplify's collaboration, dashboards, automation, and response capabilities to scale that, right, to be able to deliver that across our customers at scale. And on top, we're bringing in our expertise, right, our expertise in threat hunting, in threat intel research, doing malware analysis and reverse engineering, right? So this is where we actually being augmented by that technology and bringing in our expertise to have that, power multiplier combination providing value to our customers. And if we kind of take a look at the process and how that works, right? So again, like data collection, so primarily focusing on endpoint for visibility, supporting Endgame, CrowdStrike, and Carbon Black. So as a customer, if you already have that deployed, it's just a matter of providing access using API, and we get the ball rolling in a matter of hours. We leverage again our threat intelligence research, doing custom detection. So not just leveraging what's coming out of the box from those those platforms, we also augment that with our own customized detection against the stuff that we see in the wild, and we do adversary simulations to actually test those detections and actually make sure they're up to par. That helps us to kind of generate those hunting hypotheses. So we actually go in on those platforms to proactively hunt for threats and look for those outliers that are not necessarily detectable. Once we discover a threat, we actually do that automation around doing the malware triage, doing the enrichment, providing the context, providing all of the, I would say, the reputation around that to actually make a better decision. Everything is being done automatically as possible, using Simplify's and leveraging their case management capabilities, automation playbook, orchestrating the entire backend, collaboration, and dashboard. And this is what enables us to actually provide that value to our customers with a single pane that they can actually see exactly what's going on in their environment and all of the reporting around what we see when we actually detect potential security issues across our customers' environment.
Excellent. So Adi, how about we jump into an actual demonstration where you can see how you're actually leveraging Simplify in your environment. Sure. I think it's very cool to take a look behind the scenes of how this actually works rather than just talk about the theory and slides. So I think you can go ahead and share your screen. Yep. Excellent. I do want to remind everybody that if you have questions, feel free to pop them in the Q&A window as we're going through the demonstration. Again, we'll answer them in just a few minutes in the Q&A section.
Sure. So is my screen sharing? You guys see it? Awesome, great. Okay, so this is a demo environment to kind of show you a use case or kind of how that works and kind of what our approach is. So when you log in, you get your typical dashboards, and you can have as many of them as you want. Showing different matrices, right? So different alert distribution, different case status. We do a lot of entity extraction, leveraging simplifies ability to actually extract interesting assets, right, from all of the data that we collect. So you get like the most affected assets across your environment, your typical SOC load, how many cases there are, they have open, and how many cases they have under queue, different prevalence of different, types of alert. We do a lot of, again, mapping again to the MITRE attack framework. So what are the most prevalent TTPs, right, that we see in your environment? Typical dashboard capabilities, and of course you can have as many as you want, and we package that already as part of the service. So once a customer is being enrolled to that service, that is already kind of comes pre-packaged, and of course we can work with our customers to kind of customize that to their need. So this is like the default dashboard screen. As an analyst, once you log in, this is what you see when you log in. Coming in 8 o'clock in the morning, you see your own, I would say, workbench with all of the cases that you have open, different stats of how many cases are open and closed, different links, right, to different resources and files that you work in on a daily basis, all of the tasks that you have on queue. So this is where the collaboration piece comes in. And of course, working, in this day and age, working remotely, we don't lose any of that collaboration, not just internally, but with our customers as well. So what I can actually do is I can actually task different people in my own organization, in our own operations, whether it's, I don't know, a reverse engineer or a threat intel analyst or a researcher, whatever, and actually task them with different tasks and put in SLAs on them. And once I do that, they get a notification there is a new task on queue. And this is how it simplifies, kind of enables us to collaborate, not just internally, but with our customers as well. Typical contacts, that, as a managed service provider, an analyst have, the contact that he needs in his fingertips, different, stakeholders within, the customer that you need to reach out to. And then here on the right-hand pane, the announcement pane, what we do is every time that we discover a new campaign, a new tool, a new activity by a threat actor, right? And we report on it. This is where we actually kind of publish that information with all the links relevant to the full-blown research. This is kind of how we kind of keep our customers updated with new information, as we investigate that. But again, not just for our customers, but our analysts as well, because if something's going on, maybe I want to kind of launch a hunt, right, against a campaign that is relevant to one of our customers that we cater. Right here at the bottom, different notes and tasks. Again, one location, one single pane, one workbench that an analyst can actually leverage, not having to have 30 tabs open and then do that pivots between the different systems in the environment. This page here, I think, is where the most of the heavy lifting is done. This is the case management pane. What you can see right here on the left is the different cases on queue. Again, simplifies a multi-tenant platform, so every customer gets their own environment. They can see their own environment. As a managed service provider, we, of course, have the ability to serve and cater and have visibility across our customers. So this is where the multi-tenancy enablement by Simplify comes to play. And here, what you can see here is that I have a case. This is the environment that actually that case belongs to. We see it's a spear phishing attachment case. When it was opened, the case ID. I can see what are the actual technologies that alerted on that case and kind of what alerts are part of that case. And here, what you can see here is the alert count. So what we do is we do sequencing and clustering of different alerts to actually be able to tell a better story. So we don't look at alerts or hunt scenarios as a single entities. We actually, did a lot of work in the back end to do that logic behind the scenes. Right up here, tagging across the MITRE attack framework. This is done automatically by, by our automated playbooks that we've built around that. So very, very quickly as an analyst, right, I can actually look at that and see, well, there's something weird going on here, right? So you can see all of the alerts that are part of that playbook, the timeline of that alert, and of course, once I click on that alert, I immediately zoom in on that particular alert. You can see the playbook that was executed. You can see all of the insight screen. So basically, as we go through that automated process of enriching the alert, contextualizing that with our threat intelligence, do all of the reputation around that, we bring in those interesting pieces of information to help our analysts to drive a better decision, not just our analysts, but our customers as well. So here you can see that endgame actually detected on an alert. So we provide actual link to the endgame platform. If an analyst wants to pivot, they can do that. We do SSO in the back end. So again, this single pane effect comes to play. Here, what you can see is that we have a hash, and we enrich that hash using our own threat intelligence. So now I know that that hash is an actual Word document downloader that uses macro to launch PowerShell. I have an execution of a suspicious parent-child process, shellcode injection, command and control. I know that this host is compromised, right? I know that for a fact. I didn't have to do anything, right? Everything was done automatically for me. And if I actually want to pivot to kind of get a better understanding and try to understand if I've seen that in my environment before, and actually click right on that actual object, and I will get redirected to that screen, that I can see that this actual object was part, right, of 5 other cases that we actually triaged in the past, and all of the actual analysis insights, you know, you're going to see here on the entity log. So now immediately I can understand what that is. I know it's a macro-enabled document. All of the reputation around that document is available to me, and I can immediately understand and see, right, across all of the cases that I've triaged in the past. Have I seen that before? Try to get a better context around that, not having to analyze that manually or anything like that. Here, right down here at the bottom, right, we can see the playbook that is executed. So I can actually do different notification, and actually we can actually integrate with our own customers' infrastructure, maybe their own case management, maybe their some of the other technology stacks that that they have in their environment, and have that integration with their environment during the playbook, and of course doing all that automatically as a service. The customer doesn't have to worry about all that. We do all that for them to get the ball rolling.
Right. And Adi, correct me if I'm wrong, I think a lot of what we're hearing now, especially in this day and age of coronavirus, is where I assume most of us and most SOCs are in remote, the employees are remotely. The fact that you have something like a case wall that we have, that all the information is captured in one central location about who did what on the case, et cetera. I assume that's even more helpful than usual these days in terms of collaborating.
That is correct. That is exactly that, right? So if we go on the case wall, so what you'll actually see here is all of the manual and automated actions that were done during that investigation. And we provide a very deep dive investigation around that. So as you can see here, we do a full-blown analysis of all the malware, all of the context, all of the forensics artifacts that we collected and analyzed. And here right down at the bottom, you get a full-blown report of like what that threat is. What is it, right? Why is that of impact, right, to the customer? What have we discovered? And we do all of the enrichment, all of the tagging. If we can attribute that to a threat actor, we will provide that context as well. Again, the mapping to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, all of the IOCs, but most importantly, right, all of the actual response processes that we have done, right? So in that particular case, we automatically isolated that host because we reached the decision that this is a compromised host. So we isolated that, preventing that threat from spreading throughout other areas of the network. And then we went out and actually removed all of the malicious artifacts, so we will be able to actually introduce that compromised workstation back into production as soon as possible, minimizing that impact as much as possible. And by doing so, enabling our customers to be better protected. So absolutely, yes, absolutely true. And everything, again, single pane, one platform, so our customers can see everything that we do throughout the hunt. I can actually interact with our customers or with, with our SME. I can actually just, do an ad, choose who I want to communicate with, send a message, they will automatically see it. Again, we can do that interactively with, if our customers are using Slack, good, we can do that as well. Again, to have that seamless effect when we provide them with detection and response and threat hunting, leveraging one single platform to enable us to actually do that at scale.
Cool. Maybe we'll show like one more thing and then try to take
right.
some of the questions.
Absolutely,
that we have. Yeah.
absolutely. So one last thing again. So like we went through that, that effort, but maybe I wanted to see like maybe graphically at a higher level what exactly happened, right? So if I click on, if I click on that explore button right here, I will be redirected to that screen, which actually shows what happened. Again, it's a demo environment, so you only see that one host. But think that you have like multiple hosts that are kind of being part of that incident, so you'll be able to see how that interacted one another, what the actions that the attacker actually did. So you see like the actual compromised host. The attacker dropped that document. The document was executed, and we see that the attacker actually dropped in Mimikatz. And here on the left-hand side, you can see in sequence everything that happened, right? So the malicious file. Once I click that, I get on the right hand all of the context around what that file is, when have I seen that, what the reputation is, what all of the verdict that is around that, and then you can actually do that in sequence to try to, again, understand very, very quickly what went on. And again, everything is digested and consolidated on one single platform, which we actually provide that visibility to our customers. So again, not ending up with just an email alert, but you see everything that we do when we provide that value to our customers.
Excellent. All right, if I can share my screen again. So let's again, you can still drop in some questions and we'll try to address them. Before we start answering questions, obviously if you like what you saw and you're looking for managed security services, managed threat hunting, you can reach out to Adi and Cyberin at cyberin.com. If you want to get your hands on the Simplify platform, we've actually launched a free community edition that you can go to our website and download at simplify.co/community. Okay, let's get to some questions. So the first question is not surprising, has to do with coronavirus, and maybe if you can talk a little bit about how you internally are adjusting, because I assume all your analysts are now working remotely, to the situation, and also are you seeing anything different from a threat landscape and what's hitting your customers again over the last few weeks, which are obviously very much about the coronavirus. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So yeah, so I'll touch the first part, and I'll say that this is the beautiful thing of kind of building a platform that would deliver throughout our private cloud infrastructure, right? That no matter where you are, right, you can actually continue your day-to-day work, right? No matter where no matter where you're located around the globe, as long as you can access that platform, you can get you can actually continue doing the work as if you were in the office, right? So that's the beautiful thing about that platform that also allows us to kind of collaborate on a single one single pane. And not having to kind of be bothered about, spinning up voice chats, video conferences, emails, right? We don't care about all that. So we have the ability to communicate on one single platform and continue business as normal. From a threat landscape perspective, yeah, that's interesting, right? So we definitely see a very large uptake in threats surrounding or trying to leverage the coronavirus pandemic. The interesting thing that I might say that it's not a change of TTPs per se, but it's the rapid adoption of things that we see I would say during normal times, and now threat actors were able to actually switch that very, very rapidly to kind of leverage that crisis that we're going through. And one example that I can give is that I think through late February, right, we started to see a new strain of ransomware called Corona ransomware, right? So when we analyzed that, some of those samples, we immediately discovered that it shares a lot of code base with a previously known ransomware called Satan, right? So how we can actually see threat actors actually modifying and changing their actual code right? And coming up with new kind of threads that are more, I would say, try to kind of look as new, right? And fit the current situation that we are at. And the second trend that we actually see, obviously working remotely, is a lot of, is a huge increase in vulnerable, I would say, exposed applications. So a lot of, RDP brute force and try to kind of leverage RDP vulnerabilities to kind of gain access. A lot of VPN vulnerabilities that are going around. We see a large, uptick using those to try to get entry. And of course, the tried and true, phishing campaigns, right? We see a huge increase in phishing campaigns that are involved around COVID-19 and coronavirus. So yeah, it's fascinating to see how that changed rapidly.
And then I assume if you see a new thread or like an increase in RDP, I mean, your ability to now build a playbook for that.
We already do have that.
Yeah, okay,
we have that already, right? Of course.
Yeah, excellent. So that's going to segue to the second question that we have, and I think it's all we have time for. So we talked about the playbooks, and you showed in your environment like a great playbook for the enrichment and the threat hunting and all of that. How are those playbooks built? I guess the question is, I mean, is that something that you provide out of the box when you onboard a new customer? Is that something that you can collaborate with a customer based on their environment, or can it be either or? Maybe talk a little bit about how those playbooks are built.
Very good question. So in terms of TCO perspective, this is the beautiful thing of going with with a managed service. So our customers don't have to worry about any of that, right? So they get all of, they get access to the platform. They get, all of the playbooks and all of the content already, already in the platform itself, right? So we invested a lot of work in actually orchestrating our back end. So our customers don't have to buy Sandbox subscription. They don't have to buy Virus Total. They don't have to buy, maybe external, threat intel feeds. They get all of that as part of the platform, right? And once we can onboard them through that platform, they already get, to enjoy a wide set of playbooks that we have kind of built and prepackaged as part of that. And what we do with our customers, of course, we use them as templates, right? To actually modify and change these playbooks to our customers' needs. So if a customer says, listen, I love what you do on the case file, but I want all of this data in my case management and I use ServiceNow, hey, no problem, right? We already built that integration. It's just a matter of, configuring that connector and integrate that as part of the playbook, right? And then, and that's pretty much it. If a customer has a very unique scenario that we don't have, I would say, a pre-built integration with, we can offer, professional services around customizing some scenarios or some playbooks, particular for the customer requirements. So yeah, so we do that as well.
Excellent. I think we went like 2 minutes over, so apologies for that. I know we wanted to keep this short and sweet and to the point. Adi, thank you very, very much for joining us. I thought that was excellent. I want to thank everybody that took time out of the day to join us, and hopefully everybody stays safe, healthy, and secure. And we hope to see you in one of our future webinars. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.